We gave you 3 names yesterday of the most irreplaceable players, the Ronald Acuna Juniors, if you
Hello.
will, of Georgia football.
Oh, I will.
And that was on the offensive side. But what if I were to tell you that we play defense as well, and Kirby's made an emphasis on being a top unit? Who says we can't hold people to less than 13 points per game?
No one
Kirby
now.
said. No one. Now, we're going to give you the top 3 most irreplaceable players for Georgia this coming year, next on the Locked On Bulldogs. Almost.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening, for being a part of the show. This is the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. He is Clint. I am Daniel. And so excited to be back, to be chatting with you about irreplaceable Georgia Bulldogs. Now, listen.
Can't live without them.
Georgia's not going to have to live without any of these people. That's not at all what this segment, what these shows are all about. So don't you put that... That's you. See?
And
now, if you're saying
he's not talking to me right now. He's
it's
talking
you.
To you.
I'm talking to you, the listener.
That's
See
right.
me making eyes at the camera. You are putting that on this, not us. That's your juju, not ours. Georgia's not going to have to live without any of these players, but we're just talking about, for funsies, for funs and games, who are the most irreplaceable players, meaning that if you replace them with an average college football player at the same position,
yes, sir.
Not with the guy that's next on the depth chart, but with an average college football player, which none of our players are average college football players. So it would be a downgrade regardless of the person that you replaced. But who would be the biggest downgrade? Who is the most irreplaceable player? We gave you 3 names on offense. If you want to know who those are, I'm not going to tell you. Go back and listen to yesterday's show.
Go back.
Go subscribe to the audio, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, leave us a rating and review. That is really helpful to us. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Bulldogs, over there on YouTube. And we would love to interact with you in the comments and on Twitter at Dawgs Podcast. All of that out of the way, Clint.
Okay.
Let's jump in.
Let's do it.
Let's jump into the names.
You lead us off. The number one.
How do you rank these guys? I'm going to have to say you need these rankings 1, 2, and 3. I feel confident about these 3 names. I feel confident we're going to give
100%.
you 3 absolutely rock solid names, but just go easy on the rankings because these are fluid. There's some fluidity to these. Okay? There's fluidity to these.
I appreciate
I speculate.
Okay.
There might be 1 at each level, but I don't know how it's all going to shake out.
I think that's a fair determination.
I'm going to say my number 1 right now at this moment.
Okay.
Is Michael Williams, because if you told me there was a world in which I didn't get to watch Michael Williams play every week, I would weep bitterly for months
with the heat already.
And months. Michael Williams is about to have one of the best seasons that a Georgia pass rusher has ever had.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, Daniel, he's played multiple years in the SEC. No. So last year when he was in he
came in
green
playoff, as a Christmas tree, as a true freshman last year. And what did he do? He struggled. He struggled out of the gate, did he not?
No, he didn't because he showed out on the biggest stage against a first-round draft pick and made him look incompetent at his position.
Michael Williams, I'm not trying to invoke the name Jarvis Jones and the season that he had. But we will agree on this podcast. Jarvis Jones has had the single best season that a Georgia pass rusher has ever had. I didn't say he's the best pass rusher in Georgia history.
The best season.
Okay? So David Pollock fans or whatever, don't get upset. I said he had the best season.
Georgia fan, Daniel. That's what's being typed.
I said he had the best single season as a pass rusher.
By a Bama
I'm not going to say Michael's going to top that. but I'm saying we're going to be thinking about it as we watch Michael Williams this year.
I'm going to tell you this right now. What Brock Bowers was to college football offense 2 years ago,
Say more.
Michael Williams will be to college football defense this year, which everybody is salivating.
We're
waiting
anxious.
for Brock Bowers. Kincaid, that tight end out of Utah that went to Buffalo late in the first round.
Sure.
He's going to be wide receiver 2 in Buffalo. Okay. Hold on. We have something better waiting for you. And his name is Brock Bowers. He's a do-it-all. And now all of a sudden, if I was to tell you, yeah, keep salivating because this guy's going to burst onto the scene. And, oh, wait, you're going to see more film of him when he comes back.
Yeah. Because this is year 2 of 3. But this is the year, I believe, where he's going to get the least amount of offensive line attention and therefore the most amount of productivity. I suspect that his junior season, at what I anticipate being his last campaign in Athens, I suspect he's going to have a bit of a down year statistically because of all the attention he's going to get. But this year,
I'm going to Stetson Bennett call my shot right now. Okay. A couple months before the draft, I called Stetson Bennett in the 4th to the Rams. I wish I had a ticket on that. I'm going to shoot my shot now and say South Carolina game, Michael Williams, 3 sacks.
Michael Williams, Spencer Rattler.
That's all. I'm fine. You said the words.
We said mind meld on yesterday's show. That's going to be a different kind of melding. It's going to be a different
meet somewhere.
kind of, yeah.
Ooh, Michael Williams is number 1. I have no problem with that whatsoever. He was one of the top 3 names. Absolutely irreplaceable. He is the edge guy this year, the Jalen Carter of the defensive line, the Jordan Davis of the defensive line, the Trayvon Walker of the defensive line. It is Michael Williams. He's going to show out. We're going to come back after this. I'm going to talk about number 2, but first, Built Bar. Built Bar is the tastiest.
It's the tastiest. No, I'm going to say it. You said it last time. I'm going to say it. Built Bar is it's the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. It's the thing that we love to talk about more than anything else on this podcast because it's delicious.
That and the banter.
And, well, people love the banter and they love the Built Bar ads. Dog stats, can I get an amen on the Built Bar ads? People love the Built Bar ads. They love the banter. Built Bar is high in protein. I'm not sure if you're trying to add muscle to your frame, but that's an important thing. You want the protein. It's low in fat. It's low in sugar. I'm not sure if you're trying to eliminate the gut on the frame there, the old the dad bod. Not the dad pod, but the dad bod. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
If you're trying to do that, you don't want the sugars, right?
No.
So Built Bar tastes like a candy bar and yet low in sugar, keto approved, high in protein. Every single one is delicious. There's chocolate flavors. They all have 100% real chocolate. Fruit flavors, caramel flavors, birthday cake flavors. There's amazing flavor combinations. You stick them in the freezer for a day. They're absolutely fantastic. They got some with some like rice crisp in them. They've got some that are marshmallow. You love those. There's a bunch of choices, a bunch of combinations, and you get them all at built.com. Promo code locked on gets you 15% off your first order. That's 1 box, 2 boxes, 20 boxes at built.com. Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar on planet Earth.
Number 2, Daniel, we go defensive most irreplaceable player war. By the way, do you know who the number 1 war in baseball history is?
Number 1 war in baseball history? I don't.
Babe Ruth.
Oh,
182 game war.
Oh, you mean for a career?
For a career.
Yes. I was like, that's too many games, Clint.
You can't do that.
You have lied to me.
You have lied. No, it's Ronald Acuna with all the games. Yeah. We're going to continue. And the next layer up, I'm going to go smack dab in the middle. I'm going to go where all the action is. We're going to go.
We're climbing
ascending.
the ladder.
We're ascending order here, Daniel.
Here we go.
And if you don't understand how.
I think they do.
I'm going to
tell them anyway.
Tell them. Because it bears repeating. Some news is best heard multiple times.
Might be somebody new who's just wandered in.
If you don't know who JDJ is, if you don't know Dumas Johnson, Pop, the man in the middle, who is Nakobe Dean-esque, who is Roquan Smith-esque, who is Monty Wright-esque, and yes, Monty Rice, again, one of the best tacklers I've seen at UGA.
Absolutely.
Form tacklers. He's all of them. He's explosive. He's sidelines to sideline. He's not as fast as others, but I'll tell you this. I don't know how the man does it. I say he's not that fast, but Daniel, he goes sideline to sideline, and he makes tackles on wide receivers, running back side. It doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what it is, Clint. There's a difference between fast and football fast. Is there an NFL GM listening here? Can we get an NFL GM on the pod
right now?
Where are you?
When the man diagnoses plays, Daniel.
Yes.
What happens?
Football fast is how quickly you can get to where you need to be on a particular play. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever watched Seinfeld, but there are two ways to win a race.
What show is this?
One is to be the fastest kid in school.
One is
you're standing at the far end of the line away from where Mr. Bevilacqua is, and before the gun goes off, you just take off, and nobody notices, and you win running away. It's as if that's who JDJ is, because while he may lack the straight line speed, now he's not slow by any means, but while he may lack the straight line speed of some other elite middle linebackers in Georgia history, he makes up for it because he knows where you're going before you know where you're going. He's reading your mail, and when he reads your mail, he just shows up where you're going to be. And when he shows up there, Clint, his intentions are not pure. They are motivated by ill.
He wants to implant you into the ground and make you stay there. That's his whole goal in life, Daniel.
It is.
This man is so important. Again, leadership, camaraderie, knowledge.
Check.
He's a general on the field. He is Kirby's right-hand man, calling all the plays, getting everybody right. He doesn't come off the field much. We do enjoy a hockey rotation, but JDJ is not one that comes out in rotation as much. He still gets spills because we are talented everywhere. But this man is blitzing, and we've seen him blitz, again, Nakobe Dean-esque on those blitzes. That double-A crossover stunt that they do, it is a thing of beauty, and he is great at it. So he is the number 2 most irreplaceable player. Now, again, not replacing him with his man next to him, Smile Mondon, great, we have that. But I'm telling you right now, he brings something to the table of stoutness in the middle. He can also buck up against the run, too, and take on and shuck a guard who's coming out on a double team.
I think he may want it.
He actually, some may say, enjoys it.
I think he wants it. He wants that smoke.
And you know where to find him.
He gonna get it.
He's in the middle of the field.
The sad part, the scary thing is, not only do you know where to find him, he knows where to find you, and that's not going to be great for you.
Maybe if he carried some Tic Tacs around, you can hear him coming before he's there. So, we're gonna come back after this with our number 3 most irreplaceable player for Georgia's defense. We got them 199 folk with us.
The 199 is here. Listen, 199. I got
look at that.
I got the bottles and buckets shirt on.
If you don't know what a bottles and buckets is, every single Georgia game you have a bottle and you have a bucket. One is for if the game goes Missouri.
One goes in, one comes out.
One is if it's a TCU game.
Yeah, you need some of both. And listen, if you're part of the 199 and you enjoy a bottle every now and then,
I do.
Your boy's other show, The Dad Pod. YouTube.com/@thedadpod. You got to put the ad in there as if it's Twitter. YouTube.com/@thedadpod. This week's episode is if we could only have 3 whiskeys for the rest of our life.
Ooh.
What would they be? And listen, if you don't want to know the answer to that question, I don't know how to help you in life. YouTube.com/@thedadpod. Go check that out if you want. Let's talk about the last irreplaceable piece on this Georgia defense. Now, Clint.
This is the 3rd level I think we're going to go.
We're going to go 3rd level. Now, listen, are there other names? Yes.
Of course.
Yes. There are so many other names. Are there other options in the secondary that we could go with? Yes. Yes, in fact, there are. but I don't think anybody's going to be holding their breath here to know who we're going to talk about.
Say his name.
It's going to be Malachi Starks,
Ooh.
And
I get that chill just every
quite
time.
simply put, Malachi Starks has already shown us some things in his brief tenure as a Georgia Bulldog. That we scarcely have ever seen before, Clint. This man, he knows how to go get the football.
He hawks it.
He loves to take it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, is there anybody in Athens that knows how to coach up a safety, Clint? Is there anybody in Athens that's going to help him with his mechanics, help him with his play recognition, help him be in the right spot at the right time, help him know his job so well that it comes almost as a second nature to him?
Yeah, we talked about the 3 levels, Daniel.
Yes.
What if I was to give you 3 levels of a secondary coach who also coaches the defense, who also happens to be over the entire ball club?
Well, it's almost as if you have a co-defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Who is a former Georgia player himself.
Correct.
And an elite secondary coach.
Yeah.
It's almost as if you have a DB's coach who is, in his own right, an elite secondary coach.
Get guys to the league on the regular.
On the regs. And then above both of those guys, you have the head man himself, the greatest secondary coach that's ever coached in college football.
That's wild, Daniel.
History. That's all on this team.
If you're a DB and you don't want to go to Georgia,
we can't help you.
I can't help you.
Find another podcast. I don't know.
You're burning money.
You sure are. Malachi Starks, when you combine the progression that we've seen out of safeties in this system, think about Christopher Smith in his freshman year. And think about Christopher Smith in his junior year.
Were those 2 the same person?
Not even remotely close. Think about Richard LeCount.
I was just going to say, look, I love
career.
Richard LeCount. I do. Damn good dog.
Think about him late in his career. Not the same guy.
Not the same.
Lewis Seen. Think about them.
Ooh.
Early and late in the career. Now, go ahead.
Keep going. No, what if I was to ask you, Daniel, is Malachi Starks, those are great
Those are great players. Sure they are.
UGA, draft picks.
So, Lewis Seen, first rounder.
What if I was to ask, is Malachi Starks of equal talent at this point in their careers as any of those other guys?
As they were as freshmen?
Correct.
No, he's not of equal talent. No, Clint.
What is he?
He's a superior talent to all of those guys, and it's not particularly close.
No.
So when you combine the development that we've seen, not consistently, I don't want to misspeak. It's not consistent development. It's universal development in the secondary. It's
every one of them.
Every single one of them has made leaps and bounds each and every year. What happens when you start way up here and then you begin to make those leaps and bounds? Is that going to, knowing where to be and what spot to be in and how to play your position and what kind of technique you should employ is that going to accentuate your God-given abilities or diminish them, Clint?
This man's already there. It's going to accentuate. This man is already there where he is baiting quarterbacks. Normally in pass coverage with DBs and safeties, what you want to do is you want to remain in the good coverage scheme.
He says, throw it up there.
With good technique. And you don't want to be, quote, out of position. This is a goal in phase. Cornerbacks, you don't want to be out of position. Safeties, you can start messing with a man's head. And you can start feinting coverage to one side or a misread on another, knowing where he's going to throw and deking him out of a throw in which he's going to try a position that you know he's going to try, and at the exact moment bail out and catch it. That's what Malachi Starks, that's the level he's on.
That's where he is.
That's where is now.
And he continues to get better.
It's going to be a great season. You said on yesterday's pod, I don't know which side of the ball I'm most excited about. 2 years ago, it was easy. Defense. Last year, you were like, oh, well.
How about this offense?
This year, put your hands together.
You said, well, we have a high draft pick on offense. Oh, we also have one on defense. Oh, well, we have a bunch of young talent that shows out on offense. Oh, we also have that on defense. Oh, well, we have depth for days and can sustain all manner of injuries and whatnot. Oh, yeah, we also have that on the defensive side of the ball. It's
let the record state one more time. Mike Bobo had more points per game than any other offensive coordinator.
Just channeling your inner Leatherman right now.
I am.
The Leatherman.
And now he has a defense.
He has not a defense. Say it different.
He has the best defense in college football.
Better.
Getting him more chances to score.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think what we're trying to say is,
please,
Florida sucks. And it's really great to be a Georgia Bulldog.
Gosh, I'm so glad.
It's just really great.
Them Dogs
right
is
now.
hell. You know,
Them Dogs, guys, is exactly hell.
That's right.
You know exactly what they is.
No, you know what they is.
Yeah.
This has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Daniel and I will be back next talking more Georgia Bulldogs. We'll see you guys then.
See ya.